joined. If you are taking this practice at a later time, welcome to our prenatal yoga practice. My name is Kristen. I'm glad you're here. Our question of the day was kind of twofold. What is some great advice you've received, and what is some not so great advice you have received? So thank you to those of you who have shared. And I think it comes down to throughout our pregnancies, trusting that we know our body best and taking that with us into labor, delivery, parenting, that trust that we know our bodies best, we know our babies best, we know our children best, we know our partner best. So trust your gut. So as you settle in to whatever position is comfortable for you to be in your practice, I'm going to continue our reading from Melody Beattie's Journey to the Heart, one of my most favorite books. The title for today, February 13th, is Don't Let People Put Thoughts in Your Head. Respect the power of words and thoughts, both your own and others. Our ideas and inspirations sometimes come from other people or come from outside us. But if we are not careful, it's easy for others to put their ideas and intentions into our minds, to cast their spells on us. You aren't very creative, your heart isn't open, you're really not that healthy, you need me to succeed, you don't deserve success. The list goes on. How easy it is to be unaware of the process, to walk around with other people's words in our head, taking them as truth, taking them as our own, letting their ideas about us control our lives and our beliefs. What are the words that others have spoken to you? What phrases are echoing in your heart and in your mind? And do they belong? Listen to what you hear. And if you don't approve, put those thoughts out. Words are powerful. Do not let other people put them in your head, and choose carefully the words you speak to them. So I think this can go both ways. Recognizing that words are powerful when they're spoken in a positive, supportive way. And we can sort of set them aside when they are offered in an unsupported, unsolicited way. So as you settle into this movement part of your practice, you might bring a hand to heart and a hand to your baby. Coming back to trust your intuition. Take a few breaths here. Perhaps inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Feeling the rise and fall of your belly, your chest, and your heart. We'll take a few more breaths here just to welcome ourselves and welcome our babies to this practice. I encourage you to take exactly what you need. If something I call or say doesn't resonate with you, be curious about finding maybe a position or a movement that does feel good. As every single body is different, every single day as your pregnancy progresses, it's different what feels good and what kind of aches and hurts. Let's take one more breath wherever you are at. Inhale through the nose. Open mouth, exhale. We will meet in a comfortable seat. So if you're in a reclined position, always really important to roll off to the side and then push your way up to a seat. So that traditional sit-up movement, sort of crunching movement, is really hard on the abdominal wall. So even when you're getting down into bed, kind of roll off to the side and slide it down. And we'll work on that as we come down to our mat for our practice. So hands can come to thighs here, and let's just take some nice movement, circling the body, go both directions. It might feel good to take these really tiny circles or exaggerated big circles. We're going to focus on some chest and heart openers today. When it does get cold, even for you, Stephanie, in Texas, we tend to, roll the shoulders forward, which shortens the pectoral muscles. Pectoral muscles are growing because our breasts are growing, because our pregnancy and our body are changing. So when that happens, everything shortens and it pulls the shoulders kind of even more forward. So we're going to work to open them up today. Come up to a nice seat here, and we'll take a side body opener. Right hand comes to the mat, left arm reaches up and over. Keep your left butt cheek grounded onto the mat. So it's easy to lean and lift the left side. Keep it grounded and reach through the left fingertips. Good work, you guys. What a great crew. Thank you for taking time out of your Saturday morning. Let's float the left hand down. Right arm reaches up. Right seat stays put. Reach and lengthen through the right fingertips. Good. Plant the right hand, bring it down to the side, and then walk both hands behind you. I'll show you from the side here. And point the fingers the same direction as the toes, so the feet come to the mat, and just pull the shoulder blades towards one another. So we're just focusing into the chest and heart space here. We're not really opening through the belly, just the chest and heart. And you can even shift your gaze towards the ceiling as well, taking this opening into the throat. You can stay here with your seat on the mat, or maybe lift into a reverse tabletop. And feel this really good stretch into the shoulders. Once you're here, if you've chosen that, rock it forward just a little bit to stretch into the front of the shoulders. Good. Let the seat plant. And what we'll do from here is just rock and roll it on over to our tabletop. If your knees are tender today, you can bring a blanket underneath. You might move your props out of the way. And just keep whatever you've got for that strap, whether it be a belt or a yoga strap or a towel, just keep it close by. We come to our tabletop, and this is one of these positions that I say you can really close your eyes down, trust your intuition, what feels good in your body in this moment. So side to side movement, big circles. Sometimes people like to tuck the toes to stretch into the feet, forward and back. It should look different in all of our bodies. Good. Just continue to find your breaths. You might notice this feels really good to take the weight of baby off of the low back. I always encourage people to get really comfortable on hands and knees, as this is actually quite a good position to push in. Good. Take a few more rounds of breath and movement. And thinking about when you take these movements, as we open our heart in our practice today, that we're not just thinking of the heart as a space in the front of the body, we think of it as 360 degrees. So opening up into the back body as well, really breathing out to the sides, front and back. If you've got something that resembles a yoga block, you can bring it towards the upper left-hand corner of your mat. You could also use a water bottle as well. Help your right foot to the upper right-hand corner. Make sure you have a lot of space for your belly here. And it might be helpful to have something to lean on. Today, we're really going to encourage to lift our torso. So bringing the shoulders back, but I want you to keep baby hugged in nice and tight. So we've got an option to take our hands like we're putting them in jeans pockets. I don't know about you, but I haven't worn jeans and I don't even know when I worn jeans last, but imagine you've got pockets and you're sliding your hands into your pockets, pull the elbows towards one another, and you might even lift your gaze a little bit. Just notice the opening across the chest. Good. And as you lean forward into this, we open into the front of the left thigh. And we've got a little bit of compression happening in the right hip joint. So lots going on here. Good, let's bring the hands, both hands to the inside of the right foot. You might move that block out of the way. And here, let's heel toe our right foot all the way off to the right side of our mat. My foot is off the mat. And we're just going to take some diagonal movements here. So instead of forward and back, kind of towards the upper right-hand corner, say you're moving towards like 2 o'clock on a clock. Good, it's just really good for our body to take this kind of different movement that we don't normally take in our movement practice. Good, let's take one more rock forward and one more rock back. Heel toe that right foot towards the center of your mat. This time shift the hips all the way back and flex your toes up towards the ceiling. I know when it's a lot colder, if you're walking on ice and snow, we sort of change our gait a little bit, which sometimes really affects our calf and our hamstring, especially if you're in that, third trimester where your weight distribution is just off in general. So we like to stretch into the calf and the hamstring along the back side of the leg as well. Good. Rebend your right knee, and we'll just come back to our tabletop here. Check in with your body if it feels good to move or just to find a bit of stillness. Taking a drink of water or tea or whatever you need to stay hydrated throughout your practice. And we'll come to that sequence on the other side. Left foot comes towards the upper left-hand corner. We come to lift the torso. And think again of this action of kind of hugging baby up and in and just focusing kind of where our bra is here to open. Good. Hands can come in those back imaginary pockets. You might lift your gaze, even just feel that subtle lift of the heart. Good. With our class recording today, I'll send out, I filmed a short little YouTube video about a way to use a yoga strap to kind of almost be a kind of a posture corrector. My husband's been doing that when he's sitting at his classes for Zoom, so it's been really helpful for him. Good. All right, let's lean the torso forward. Hands can come down to blocks, or maybe they can come to the mat. Heel toe your left foot all the way off, and let's take that diagonal movement this way. Kind of 9, 10 o'clock. If we're looking at a clock. I think coming back to that, trusting your intuition in labor and delivery too, of what positions that are comfortable for you. I think innately, when we're feeling different sensations and feeling that uncertainty, we tend to rock. It's just sort of a innate trait that we've got as humans. So trusting kind of those positions in your body and what feels good. Good. All right, let's come to our calf stretch. So bring your left foot, help it more towards the center of your mat, shift the hips back and flex your left toes up. Each side is a little bit different. So this side is my insanely tight side. So I always feel like I'm about to go into like leg cramp city here. So maybe we even bring a hand to the calf and give it a little extra rub. I was so chilly today that I wore my fleece-lined yoga pants. So hopefully I don't overheat when we get standing and moving. Good, rebend your right or left knee, pardon me, bring it back to meet your right. And let's come to either decide if tabletop still feels really good for you or maybe inviting child's pose in. If child's pose feels good, big toes come towards one another, knees spread as wide as you need, making plenty of space for your baby. Forehead comes down. You can bring a block in or bring a bolster, a pillow. I think child's pose is one of my most favorite postures. It just feels calming and grounding and feels good in the body. So hopefully it feels good for you as well. Good. Let's reach our fingertips forward here. Keep your forehead connected to the mat or to a block. I want you to tent your palms like I'm sticking apples or tennis balls underneath your palms, keeping your fingers on the mat. So we pull our forearms off the mat. Good. And really reach. Notice the stretch into the shoulders. Good. Let the forearms come back down to the mat and then slide them closer to you to just let those shoulders rest kind of back into a neutral position. Perhaps a cleansing breath feels really good for you right now. Let's slide our hands all the way underneath the shoulders, push down to lift on up. What we'll do from here is make our way to our first downward facing dog of class. So hands slide forward a little bit, make sure the pointer fingers are parallel with one another. Our hips come nice and high. I encourage you to take a nice wide stance with the feet. Keeping the stance wide, make sure we always leave enough room for our baby, especially when we come to a forward fold at the top of our mat. Wide stance is key, otherwise belly's gonna run right into thighs. Shake your head out here, just like let's shake it no, like we're receiving that unsolicited yucky advice. Nope, in one ear and out the other. And shake it yes, like yeah, thanks for the good advice. It's even better when you ask for advice and then someone offers some nice kind words like trust your gut. Good. All right, let's take our gaze towards our hands, towards the top of your mat. Bend your knees here, and we'll just take as many steps as you need to come to forward fold. Remember, feet are wide here. And then hang out in this ragdoll. This is probably my second most favorite pose. Forward fold, let it go. If your hamstrings are still pretty tight this morning, keep a bend into the knees. Maybe hands come to calves, give them a little rub. Shake your head yes and no again. Ensure that you're not kind of holding on to any tension there in the neck. We're going to come to a halfway lift, hands to shins, push into the shins, flat back, kind of pulling baby up and in. Good, let's come back down to forward fold. One more half lift. Inhale brings us up. Exhale to fold, rounding over baby. We're gonna come up nice and slow. So start to bend a little bit deeper into the knees. We'll take the hands to the shins. You can keep your chin tucked towards your chest. Hands walk up the shins, the knees, the quads, slowly kind of rounding over baby here. Once you arrive, you can take the gaze straight ahead. Nice. Hands down at your sides. A few shoulder rolls back. And let's take that, we took it in a seat, but just take the hands to the low back. Once again, draw the shoulder blades towards one another and keeping baby belly kind of tucked in nice and tight, just take the gaze up. Trying to pull elbows towards one another, Good. Another option here is interlacing your hands, drawing the knuckles down towards the floor and then away. This goes a little bit deeper for me. You can try to see what feels good for you. Good. And we're just taking this in a nice tall stance at the top of our mat. Good. Take and release whatever you've chosen. Just shake the arms down at the sides, maybe swing them in front. Feels good. Oopsies, I still realize my other camera's on. Hold on one sec. Turn that camera off so you don't have to see multiple Kristens. There you go. All right. Technology. We're gonna take some modified sun salutations today for this practice. So hands down at the sides, keep the shoulders rolled back. Hopefully you're already feeling a little more open in the chest across the front body. We'll take our inhale, sweep those arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, fold it forward, kind of hinging at the hips, rounding the spine over baby here. Find a halfway lift, hands to shins. And let's step it back to find our high plank here. Now knees could be up or knees could be down. Want you to just take a hold. Wider stance if you need some more stability. Take the feet wide or bring the knees down. Good. Continue to breathe here. Want you to envision that breath going straight to the heart. Pushing the floor away. You've got this. Feeling nice and strong. Good. Drop down to your knees. We're going to take a round of push-ups. So my hands are about as wide as my mat. I'm going to rock it forward to the space above my kneecaps. As we inhale here, elbows splay out to the sides. Exhale, push on up. Good. Car seats are heavy. Babies get heavy. So we get strong, right? We see ourselves as strong. You've got this. I'm right here with you. Let's take 4 more. Inhale to lower. Exhale to push up. Nice job, you guys. 3 more. Last 2. And last 1. Excellent. Bring your hips directly over your knees. Slide the hands forward. Stephanie's got a puppy at home. This is called puppy pose or melting heart pose. Dogs are so smart every time. I say this every class, but they really are. Good. Hands come back and we'll send our hips back and high for downward facing dog. Check in. How does this down dog feel after planks and push-ups? Head is heavy. Shake it yes and no. Like we're receiving that good advice and crappy advice. Yes and no. Good. Gaze forward. Bend those knees. As you exhale, step your feet on up. Right away, halfway lift and forward fold. Inhale, reach and rise. Good. Take that as slow as you need. We're going to fold it right back down, hinging over baby. Good. Just creating this meditative movement. Inhale for a halfway lift. This time we're going to step right back to downward facing dog as we exhale. Great work. Let's take a cleansing breath here, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Great work. Take the gaze forward, bend the knees. I'm going to take 1 more round. Step your feet to the top. Halfway lift and fold. Reach and rise. You've got this. Great job, you guys. And forward fold it back down. Halfway lift. Step it back to high plank this time. Good. Drop down to your knees and take the knees not as wide as the mats, but a little bit wider. And what we're going to do here is just try to keep our midline, our body really nice and stable, and take some shoulder taps. Move slow here. Taking left hand to right shoulder, right hand to left shoulder. Good. Really getting strong in that area that we're stretching in through the chest. Continuing to breathe. Let's take 1 more to each side. Excellent job. Great. Now take the hands a little bit more narrow. Walk the knees in a little bit. Tricep push-ups, which are kind of like the bane of my existence, but important to get strong in the front of our arms and the back as well. So tricep push-ups, As we inhale, our elbows are gonna stay right at our side body, and exhale, push on up. These are a lot harder. You could take them at the wall or on the back of a chair. My body's kind of shaking. Whew, good, continue to breathe. Let's take 3 more, you guys. You've got it. That's 3. Whew, 2. And 1. Great, push it back to child's pose. To stretch into the triceps here, elbows are on the mat, palms touch, and then take your palms behind your head. And this gives a nice little stretch into the triceps. Take a full breath in and let it go. So in labor and delivery, we're going to have these heart rate spikes, right, when we get those contractions. So we do our best to practice throughout our yoga practice to bring the heart rate back down. Good. Let the hands come to the mat. Come back to tabletop. I'm going to invite a drink of water in. Just come to a seat. Good. You know, when I call a water break in this practice, you know it's when I'm thirsty. So, all right. So we're going to come to some standing postures here. So we'll just make our way to standing back through our downward facing dog. Each time we take those shoulder and arm strengtheners, you notice, does our down dog feel a little bit different? It's okay if it does. This time, let's walk our hands back towards our feet. And we'll come into a Malasana, or a nice yogi squat at the back of our mat. So heels are in, toes are out. I want you guys to grab some support. So you might need to hop on up to grab a block or something. Drop your seat on down. And so I think for those of you kind of beyond 33, 34 weeks, so Amanda, UN, if you are uncertain of baby's position, so if you know baby's head down, this is an awesome place to go. If baby is transverse or breech, I want you to stay up here, okay? If you know that baby is in that optimal position of being head down, come to this nice low squat. We just want to make sure if baby's not in an optimal position, that coming to this deep squat is going to further them into that not great spot. Good, take a few breaths here. This is kind of our pit stop before we take some standing postures. And I've got just my seat on the edge of a bolster. You could sit on a block or come to like a stool. Just good to give our pelvis a little bit of support here. Good. What we're going to do is really ground into our feet, push down into the feet, strong lift all the way up. Great work. So if you've got something at the back of your mat here, just kind of move it out of the way, just so we don't set ourselves up for a trip hazard. We're going to keep our left foot back and take a giant step or a few steps forward with our right foot. Into our high lunge, imagining ourselves on cross-country skis, so opposite tracks with our feet. Good. What we're going to do here is reach your hands forward and lean it forward a little bit. Right now I've got thumbs up. I want you to take thumbs down. So take an internal rotation and tops of your wrists will touch here. So we're just going to take, as we inhale here, open, like you're ready for a big hug, lifting the torso, lifting the gaze. And as you exhale, round and tops of the hands touch. So as you inhale, external rotation, open up those hands and heart, and internal rotation as you exhale. That's a lot of words. Inhale, open, just leaning it forward as you exhale, and opening and leaning it back as you inhale. Good, let's take one more. Nice job, you guys. Gaining some strength in our legs here too. Inhale, open. Good, reach the arms up and then find that sweet spot. Shoulders over hips here. Gonna take a little bit of strength, dropping the left knee or the back knee down to a hover and then coming back. Good, let's take 2 more. Hover that left knee down. Ooh, I'm shaking. And last one. Whew, good. Warrior two, let that left heel spin down. And here we see about heel to arch alignment. It might feel different if you're in that third trimester. I like to take a little bit of an internal rotation with my back foot or my left foot on this side, just kind of taking my left foot at an angle. Bring your hands to your baby here. Take a breath in, and then take a breath out. Good, one more round. Good, reaching the arms in opposite directions here. Kind of taking this warrior dance. Flip your right palm as you inhale, reverse. You can even bring your left hand back to connect with your baby here. Reaching from the right hip joint all the way through the right fingertips. In our reverse warrior, keeping our right thigh nice and strong, right knee stacked over the right ankle. We'll prepare to move with an inhale. And as you exhale, bring your right forearm to gently rest on your right thigh. Left arm reaches all the way up. So reach the left arm all the way up and over here, like we're reaching for the top edge of the mat. Feel that opening for your baby on the left side of your body. Good. Let's take it one more round. Inhale, nice and slow, back to reverse. And exhale, back to your side angle. Good. Come on up to your warrior two once again. Let's straighten into the right leg. Shoot your hands up towards the ceiling here. Good, and then back to warrior two. Whew. Nice, one more time. Hands to hips. Straighten into your right leg and heel toe the back foot in. We're preparing for our triangle. Some folks like a shorter stance. Shift the hips as you reach the right fingertips. Here's where you might find a block or even your water bottle helpful on the inside of the right leg. Right hand down, left arm reaches out. This is really nice to open the inside of the right thigh. Try to see where you're gripping or holding tension. Soften where you can. Maybe a little bend into the right knee. We're going to take this reverse triangle, but I want you to move from your left side body. So envision yourself really strong in your left side oblique, like someone's taking your left hand and lifting you up and out. Left hand to left thigh, right arm reaches, and bring left hand to baby here in this reverse triangle. Connect, breathe, and find gratitude. Good. Keep this reverse with our upper body. Simply rebend your right knee. What we'll do is we'll float our hands down to frame the right foot and just come back to your downward facing dog or tabletop. Just checking in. Where does it feel good to take your body after that movement? For me, it's tabletop. Just take a few breaths wherever you're at. Really good for our body to kind of adapt to this asymmetrical movement, taking that all on one side. Good work. And then we prepare for the other side. So let's walk our hands back towards our feet once again. Take a halfway lift. Baby comes along for the ride. And back down to forward fold. Inhale, we'll reach and rise at the back of our mat here, reaching towards the ceiling. And exhale, bring your hands to your heart. All right, right foot stays back. Giant step forward with the left, or as many steps as you need. Set up the feet here. Your right heel is lifted. So with that lift and engagement of the back leg, we really open up the front of the right thigh into the psoas and the hip flexor. Reaching the arms forward. Start with a thumbs up. And then rotate internally, tops of the hands or wrists meet. All right, let's take this movement. Inhale, open, shine the chest and heart, lift it, exhale, round over baby, good. Notice what's happening with your balance here as we take this on the second side. Tether your breath to your movement. Great work, you guys. Let's take one more. I notice as I shift my gaze, my balance gets a little wobbly. Come back to our high lunge. Ooh, we've got those 3 knee dips awaiting us. So if it's too much keeping your hands lifted, bring them to your heart or bring them to your hips. I think hips is gonna be where I'm at today. Drop the right knee down to a hover. Yeah, good job. All right, 2 more. Ooh-wee. All right, last one. Right here with you guys. Back to the high lunge, take a full breath in. And as you exhale, come to warrior 2. And we notice the different subtle movements or stretches we need to take, alignment we need to take on this side. One side's always a bit tighter than the other. Bring your hands to your baby here. Connect with those warrior 2 legs. Or maybe one hand to babe, one hand to heart. This is me taking time to catch my breath. All right, here we go. Reach the arms in opposite directions. And here, flip your left palm. Nothing changes about that lower half. That's where we stay sturdy and strong. Bring your right hand to your baby. Left arm reaches. Check in. That left thigh is firing up. Left knee is stacked over left ankle. We gain strength here as we stretch into the left side body. Breathe into your baby here. And as you exhale, take the left forearm to the left thigh. Right arm reaches all the way up and over. And we feel this great long line of energy from our right fingertips to the outside edge of our right foot. Take it one more round. Inhale back to reverse. And exhale to side angle. Nice. Come on up to warrior 2. Bring your hands to your baby here. Straighten into your left leg and sink back in. Good. One more time. All right, this time straighten into that left leg. You can heel toe that back foot in if you like. Hands to hips, and then drop the left hip as you kind of shimmy those hips. And then left arm reaches, coming down to a block, or maybe you don't need support. I like to have something down at the bottom. Right arm reaches. We work to best align our shoulder, right shoulder over left, and take the gaze where it's comfortable for you. Nice. One more full breath in. Stay for the exhale. Envision that right side body so strong here, lifting you up and out. Reverse your triangle. Right hand to right thigh. Left arm reaches. Keep this reverse triangle. Simply rebend the left knee. Take a full breath in here. And as you exhale, let's cartwheel the hands down. Great work, you guys. You can come back to tabletop, downward facing dog, child's pose, maybe take a drink of water. One more standing posture, and then we make our way down to the mat. If you were planning on this class being an hour, you're over. It's about 10:32 Central Standard Time. All right, so we're gonna make our way back up to standing one last time. You can come through downward facing dog. Take the gaze forward. This time we'll walk our feet towards our hands. Hands to shins, halfway lift. Come on back down to forward fold. I've got that nice wide stance. Head is heavy. Just take a breath or two in this forward fold, surrender, let go. To me, in a yoga practice, folds are always kind of a sign of surrendering or letting go. So maybe when you get that unsolicited advice, be like, thanks, I'm gonna take a forward fold now. I'm gonna let that go. Good, take the hands to the shins. One more halfway lift here. And come back to fold. Inhale, reach and rise. Could you imagine if you actually did that every time someone gave you that crap advice? Good. Hands to heart. Oh, all right. So we're going to take our goddess pose here. I'll come a little bit more forward. Maybe you've got some music playing at home. Your heels are in, your toes are out. This floor is not super steady. So let's just bring our hands to our thighs here. So we did those lunges. We worked hard in our planks. I want you to feel that strength first, and then come hand to heart and hand to baby. Wiggle into the toes, and I want you to notice, where might you hold tension from your head to your toes? Often, for many of us, it's in the jaw or in the feet. So try to soften. Another tool I find to really let go is horse lips. I know it's silly. Whenever my husband hears me do this, he's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Ah." It makes you smile. It lets that tension go that you might have. So maybe you try it. This is always like impossible to get people to do when we're in the studio together. So you're in your home, nobody's listening. Good. All right, let's find a shift side to side. So as you do that into your jaw here, you might notice that your thighs are starting to fire up. Good. Mine are starting to shake a little bit. This class isn't supposed to be easy. It's not supposed to be where, we're treating you like little delicate flowers. Labor, delivery, parenting is hard stuff. So we need to be strong mentally, emotionally. Good, let's shift it forward one more time to the right and to the left. Come back into center here. Bring your hands to your heart this time. We're gonna take some movement. Inhale, sweep the arms down and then up. As you come up, straighten into your legs. That should feel really great. And exhale, sink back down, hands to heart. Good. Inhale, reach and lengthen, and exhale, sink. Good. Last round here. Good. We settle back in to this discomfort in the thighs. Hand to heart again, hand to baby. This time we're gonna take a little pulse. Like I'm really feeling this. I'm feeling like my head is saying, like, get out of this. If I were taking this class, I'd be like, oh, I gotta go let the dogs out. I think I need a little more water. So stick with me here. Good. I see Henry running around there. Henry, get into your goddess pose. Teach them young, right? All right, let's pulse it out, you guys, for another 10, 9. You've got it. Go low. 8, 7, 6. Yes, you can. 5, 4, 3, 2. Yes, Henry, go. Good. All right, straighten into your legs. Heel toe the feet in, and let's just take some hip sways, dance it out. It's always fun when we see littles join in. Maren, props to you for trying to do this class with 3-year-old. All right, maybe you bring some of those little rubs to your thighs. Saw someone take water, good option. Get used to every time you have a contraction, after, I want you to take a drink of water. Staying hydrated. Trying to keep the bladder full is actually you want to empty it, but a really good way to continue to put a little pressure on the uterus as well to kind of get baby out. All right, so we're gonna take hand to heart, and hand to baby, just in this mountain pose or Tadasana. Maybe you need a cleansing breath. We spiked that heart rate, and here we're working to bring it back down. Good. Find gratitude for a healthy baby that's growing, gratitude for your health, gratitude for this practice and our ability to be as together as we can be throughout what is going on to be the weirdest, longest year ever. Good. All right, bring your hands down at your sides. We're gonna take one final sun salutation to make our way down to the mat. So sweep your arms up, gaze is up, heart lifts. As you exhale, come all the way down to your forward fold, hinging at the hips. Inhaling for a halfway lift. And here we're just going to plant the hands. Oops, you hear all the cracks. Step your knees or feet back to tabletop. Must have been a lot for my body in that goddess pose. All right, so we're going to take our strap. I almost forgot. We're going to take what's called, we're going to take the top half of our cow-faced pose. So I'm actually going to take my bolster. You might take a block, and I'm just going to kneel kind of with the bolster in between my legs. That gives my pelvis a little bit more support. You could come to crisscross as well, whatever's most comfortable for you. So we're going to take the strap in the right hand, and it doesn't have to be all that long, so you could have like a dish towel or something too. So we're going to take it out to the side and then bend into the elbow and let the strap kind of dangle down. Let's take a tricep stretch here. So take your left hand to your right elbow. Good. And keep the chest tall and proud here. It's easy in this to kind of lean forward. Try to keep your shoulders over your hips. All right, we're gonna release that tricep stretch, but leave that strap come down. Take the arm out, left arm out to the side, and rotate it internally, so forward. Take the thumb down. I'll show you from the back here, and then take the top of the left hand to the low back to meet the strap. Here's why we have a strap. Some of you might be able to connect your hands. I don't think that will ever be possible in my body. And we just walk the hands towards one another. So we have an external rotation in our right shoulder, internal rotation in our left. Chest stays tall, proud. And this is for me, it's a pretty intense stretch. You want to keep your right hand kind of right up by your ear. And each side is totally different. So when we enter this on the other side, I hope you don't kind of judge one side versus the other. All right, let's unravel. Left arm unravels, right arm unravels. Just set the strap down and rest both hands on your thighs. For me, I feel kind of a tingling in my arms and just some sensation. You might even bring your hands to your shoulders or your biceps and give them a little rub. I'm a big proponent of little self-massage. Good. So now we'll take that to the other side, strap or whatever resembles your strap in the left arm. We'll take the right hand to the left elbow for your tricep stretch on this side. Letting the strap or whatever you're using dangle down towards the center of your back. If you're on our email list, a survey went out this morning that is really helpful for us. We're kind of looking to maybe add programming, shift it. Let's take that right arm out to the side, rotate it internally, and take the top of the right hand to the low back to find that strap. So in a couple of weeks, many of you know that I'm in Rhode Island right now for my husband's military duty. He graduates March 2nd. Been the weirdest, like I said, weirdest year ever, but we'll be back in Madison. So I've been teaching all these classes online. So my classes will open up in studio. So if you're comfortable coming to classes at our studio at Helmea, Saturday mornings will be in person and online. So whatever you're comfortable with. We've got a nice big, about 1,000 square foot studio, plenty of room for distance and masks. Good, let's take one more breath here. We're looking to these prenatal classes have been our best attended classes over the last month. So we're maybe looking to add another evening prenatal class, so keep an eye out. If there's something you want, fill out that survey. That helps us kind of better plan our programming to meet your needs. All right, let's unravel. I'm gonna throw that off to the side and just let both palms rest on your thighs once again. For whatever reason, that stretch is always really intense for me. And it's almost time. When I said, let's increase this to 75 minutes, like now I can be like, let's do 90. Just kidding. So what we'll do here is if you've got a bolster or a pillow or something, we're just going to come to get a good stretch into our hips. So bring your seat down to the mat and you can kind of lean back onto that pillow, or you can support your hands behind you. Cross the right ankle above the left knee. Just take this figure 4. The closer the left foot is to your seat, the deeper that stretch will be into your right side. And keep that right foot flexed. And you might gently work to take the right knee away from the body. We did increase our Tuesday night prenatal class to an hour, so a little bit more room for discussion and movement there too. Have that Tuesday night at 6:30, Wednesday morning. I'm not sure, we might shift the programming around. So if there's something or a time that feels good for you. One other announcement is if you are in the Madison area, our amazing CPR instructor at Haumea has offered to do private infant and child CPR classes at Haumea. So if that's something you're interested in, Rachel's phenomenal. She taught group classes for us before, but expecting that people are more comfortable, especially taking the masks off to practice just with Rachel and you and your partner. So stay tuned for that. Shoot me an email if you're interested. Let's shift off to the other side. Left ankle above right knee, or opposite, whatever you did the first time. Oh, I did get, Katrina emailed me. She's been attending classes for the last 6 to 8 weeks. Her baby came 3 weeks early. So Theo arrived on Monday. Everyone is doing well. She sent a picture. He's got a full head of hair. I kind of noticed she wasn't present for classes this week, even though she was signed up. And I'm like, I wonder. So send your well wishes to Katrina and her family and new baby Theo. It's always fun when we hear baby news that everyone's doing well. Good. Bring your left foot down to meet your right, and let's just take some nice big windshield wipers of the knees. And what we're going to do here is safely make our way down to the mat. So come back up to kind of side lying here, and you might set yourself up to come down to side lying Savasana. You might come to set yourself up into a reclined position. What I like to do is take one block on a tall setting, one block on a medium setting. If you're just using pillows, prop up some pillows behind and then take that at an incline. What we want to do here is slide sideways down and then roll to our back. Really important to our abdominal muscles are separating to make room for baby. So really important to not put any undue stress in that area that's already kind of growing and opening. So this position, it does not need to look like the position I'm in. It's whatever and however you feel most comfortable taking a bit of stillness in the final part of your practice, which is the most important part. It's how our body soaks up the benefits of movement and breath and strength and opening. You can bring hands to baby or hand to heart and hand to baby. I always like to take a cleansing breath. So big inhale through the nose. Open mouth exhale. And we let it go. Softening, surrendering. Acknowledging that there's no work left to be done for these final moments of our practice. As we rest in stillness here, we think about that question of the day and our times where we're receiving good advice, and there's times where we might receive that advice that just doesn't sit well with us. We come back to that good advice that so many of you shared, what is trusting our body, trusting our intuition, trusting our gut. And it's hard to trust when there's so much unknown. But we are in this together to trust alongside each other in this community. You are more than welcome to stay in your Savasana for as long as you would like. If you would like to end your practice in a seat, I'll kind of walk you there. You might take a bend into your knees. We're going to reverse the way we got down to the mat. So when you are ready, roll off to one side. Maybe take a moment there. And then use the strength of your arms to push your way up to a tall seat. We'll bring our left hand to our heart, your right hand to your baby. As an act of gratitude, we drop the chin towards the chest, giving thanks to our growing babies, giving thanks for one another showing up, for sharing, for moving and breathing together. We'll close with one final collective, nice big deep breath. So take an inhale through your nose. Feel the chest rise, the heart rise, baby rise, and exhale through the mouth. Let it go. Good. Hands to heart here. Thank you so much for joining in, sharing along your pregnancy, and we are so grateful at Haumea to be a part of your journey, small part of your journey. As always, the light and the love in me sees and honors the light and the love in you. Namaste. Thank you.